All right, everybody. I know what's going on with my camera. It's kind of blurry here. I might have to get rid of the background, but it is what it is. Maybe it's just a reflection. But Wednesday night, the live 7:30 Central. We got Dog Tags live. We don't have anybody else joining except for myself and our special guest. Hopefully, the other Dog Tags crew will get on, and we'll see what's coming on with that. But before we get the guest on, I have to give him a huge shout out to say thanks for doing this. He's going to be part of our international team. We've had Don Barrett, we've had Stu Williams, we've had Frankie, we've had Zach, we've had Jesper. So now, coming live from Ireland, my guy. Hey, what's up, Wendy? Wendy's on. We're gonna bring on Christopher Sloan. What's up, my
Oh,
guy?
what's up, Dawson?
How are you, brother?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. A little tired, but nothing crazy.
Let
Jet
let
lagged.
everybody know what time it is over there in Ireland for you right now.
It's 1:30 in the morning, but
Woo.
I don't sleep very much, and I'm a busy guy, so I can't complain.
Well, that's awesome. We actually were doing a show with AJ Johnson's dad, and AJ was in Korea, and he jumped on live from his hotel bed. Like it was like 9 o'clock in the morning or something over there. So it was kind of fun to have him coming on from overseas as well. So thank you
Yeah,
for
it's
taking
pretty
the
cool.
time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, no problem, man. Absolutely no problem.
Obviously, we had Tom Clark on the show a couple weeks ago. We talked about the TV contract. That's got to be a great feeling that the CW stepped in and it's going to help keep TV or keep the PBR on TV.
Yeah, man, it's pretty exciting. I mean, obviously, change is the only constant in this world, and moving forward onto a new network, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Hopefully, better things for bowling, and better things for us.
Absolutely. And I think in a lot of the comments, a lot of people that are going to be watching it were on the shows then too. I think what's really cool about it, I mean, it was long before your day, but when I was a kid growing up, it was on ABC Wild World Sports. You got to see it every week. You knew it was coming on. You knew it was on
Pretty
ABC,
sick, yeah.
and you just know you could go watch it. Now it's going to be the same way. 10 consecutive weeks, same time, same day of the week. Bowling's going to be on TV, and it's going to be free TV that we don't have to go search for. So I think it's going to be awesome too.
Right, yeah. I think hopefully that's going to drive in some new viewers and stuff like that, and we can kind of get a little bit more energized with the push towards the people that are already there supporting us, and then bringing in a new membership base too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's going to be really awesome to have that. Now, give everybody kind of a background of how big is bowling in Ireland? Is it a big thing? You got a lot of bowlers over there?
We do not. We have a total of 246 people in our federation. So I'm actually the chairperson of our federation, similar to the USBC. We have the Irish 10 Pin Bowling Association. I'm the chair of that organization. We have about 246 members, I believe. And out of that, I think in like the age demographic of like 30s to 50s that compete in like regular scheduled events, there's probably about 50 people. Then we've about 40 or 50 juniors, and then the rest are senior bowlers that have been around for quite a number of times. So we're kicking off a couple of different initiatives to kind of drive bowling forward here in Ireland. We have our national team are actually they left today to represent Ireland at a European Championships. Normally I would be part of that team that travels. But I did have other commitments prior, so I had to decline my spot on the team, and then those commitments got cancelled. So now I'm kind of delighted because I get a couple of weeks at home
There you
and
go.
nobody's here to bug me. So
There you go. I did see that post on Facebook. You were talking about those guys going to bowl today, so that's awesome.
yeah,
Tell everybody how you got started. How old were you when you started bowling? You do it 5, 6 years old. How old were you?
no, I was a late bloomer in that regard. I think I was like 9 or 10. I don't believe nobody in my family bowled. No, none of my friends bowled. I didn't know anybody that bowled. Period. Point blank. End of story. I went to one of my friend's birthday parties, as kids do. Young competitive boy with every sport that I played,
Yeah.
and I went and I. Uh, took part in, that's the only way I could describe it. I took part in my friend's birthday party and I finished last and I threw a little temper tantrum. Um not too different to the ones you see me throw nowadays on the lanes. But I was just a little bit younger then. And I seen there was a Saturday morning league and I decided to join the Saturday morning league. It was just like a youth league. Um my mom signed me up to that. And when I was about 15 or 16, I had a couple of like tough decisions on what I wanted to do with my life and what path I was gonna choose. And I thought, you know what? Nobody's ever gone professional from Ireland, and I think it'd be pretty cool because everyone was telling me that I couldn't do it. So I was like, we'll see about that. So
Exactly.
I kind of just hunkered down and traveled a lot because of bowling, probably more so than almost anybody, maybe even more than Jason, to be honest. Maybe not as well. I'd be pretty close to it. Like I moved all over the world. Like, I've been living in Ireland, Sweden. I spent some time in Singapore. I spent some time in the US. It's been keeping me going. So that's how I
You
got
know,
in.
it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, and I've known Christopher for a little while now. Um, his passion, like you said, he was upset that he threw a temper tantrum when he lost, came in dead last. His passion for the sport is fantastic. And I got to be there last summer when it was during the tour trials and watch you make it. I think it came down to the last game, either last one or two shots. You had to throw a good shot and you made it. I mean, it was great to see you go through that and the excitement and be there. It was super cool, man.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. It was definitely up there. Like I've had a lot of achievements in my career and stuff like that internationally, and I've not had too much success domestically within the US. So it was kind of cool to like be able to kind of nut up and hunker down when like I really needed to in that moment. Like because I knew there was so much on the line. I'd kind of had a bit of a rough year off the lanes last year, leading up to the tour trials and stuff like that. I've been plagued with injuries throughout the course of my year from predominantly not taking care of myself. And then I decided to start taking care of myself and then fell into an injury about 8 weeks before the tour trials, a pretty bad one. And I just said, fuck it, like just dig in and hope for the best. And
Exactly.
that's pretty much what I done, so it was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
next week I was going to let the cat out of the bag. Next week we got another Tour Trials finalist or come through Tour Trials. Cam Crow is going to join us on the show next week. So,
Cam Crow's a legend. I didn't know Cam too well before we both made it out of the tour trials, and then we both celebrated that night, way into the night in downtown Chicago, and then we ended up becoming relatively close throughout the season just passed.
yep,
Cam's a cool kid. I love his attitude. He's got a good charisma and stuff like that. So I feel like we need more of that. Like we need a little bit more like
spice,
oomph. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a little more spice. Yeah, we got
yeah.
a question from the crowd. There's Justin Goodman. Watching Chris throw the last few makes last Tour Trials exactly one of the coolest things out there. So all season, I agree. I agree with you, Justin. That was awesome. And then Steve's got some statement. Any big difference bowling international versus the U.S.
Yeah, so there is like there's God, the list is so long, in a multitude of ways, in good ways, bad ways, positive, negative. It's very complicated and hard to explain, but I suppose the easiest way of putting it is when we go and compete in the PBA, not necessarily just in the US, but when we go compete on the PBA, there is 60 of the best players in the whole world, or 80 of the best players in the whole world. When we're competing internationally, we tend to only have like small pockets of the best players from those regions, like 20 from Europe, 20 from Asia, 20 from the US, or so on and so forth. So how the lanes transition are quite different.
Sure. Christopher JVB's on the show. He finally was able to jump in. He's one of the main reasons why we have dog tags bowling. He kind of has done a lot of stuff inside. He is actually active duty E8 serving out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He jumped out of perfectly good airplanes when he's told to do so. So we're glad to have JVB on the show. What's up, JVB? You're muted. There you
Not
go.
much. Not much. This is going to be loud because I'm currently on an aircraft flying to London.
See, that's the other thing. He's always doing something. Last week he came on from Egypt airport. I mean, the guy's just everywhere. So we'll let him listen to us because it's gonna be easier for to listen to us than do anything else. So
I
what's
like it.
you said you're gonna be home for a few weeks. What's the plan for you?
Oh man, what is the plan for me being home? I left Ireland on January 2nd, and I kind of have only been home for I think a total of 4 days since January 2nd, or maybe 5 days total. And I am kind of I'm burnt out a little bit. That doesn't bother me too much. I recover quite quick, but I said that I was going to try and like take a little step back from bowling for a couple of weeks and then kind of just, build back up to it again. Like I was just in South Korea last week with Simo, and we were at a couple of different international events in South Korea. We were there for, I think, 3 weeks after, I think I had the PBA league and I flew home and then I flew back to I flew to France and then I flew to Korea and then I flew home and then I flew back to the States and now I've flown back home. So my plan is to kind of pump the brakes for probably a week or so and start practicing some golf, chilling with the lads. I got a lot of different projects outside of the industry that I'm working on at the moment here in Ireland. So kind of
Nice.
just like get my feet underneath me,
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to ask about the golf game. I know the guy's pretty passionate about that. So, and I think one of the funny stories when we were hanging out after an event, you guys were talking, and it frustrates me and it frustrates JVB. We're both veterans. We, put our life on the line for the country to allow people to come here and be free. And the hoops that you guys got to go through to be
Yeah.
international bowlers is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. It's I actually have a relatively unique story in comparison to a lot of the guys. I during COVID, I first applied for my athlete visa in 2019, I think it was, and I had a lot of help from the PBA and from 900 Global at the time. This time around, Storm helped me with it, but I had a lot of success, and it was very, very easy, and the whole process was fantastic. And then obviously COVID hit, and embassy shut down. Governments decided to do certain things or whatever, and the PBA gave us a waiver to enter in and out of the US part time so that we could do the made for TV shows or a couple of the small PBA events. And when I was traveling across, and I had been back and forth maybe 10 times for events during COVID. And when I was traveling back across one day, I got stopped by one of the officers, the immigration officers, and they were like, "You can't travel in on this visa, this waiver." And I was like, "Well, no, I can. I've been traveling back and forth and whatever." And she just said, "No." She says, "We're going to detain you." They held me for, I think it was about 6 to 8 hours. They were interviewing me. And in the end, it was just a technicality that she didn't understand that I actually had my athlete visa, but I couldn't get it physically stamped into my passport because the embassies were closed. So I had another document stating that I could travel back and forth. And I ended up missing that flight. But luckily, I was only heading out a couple of days early for some practice before the event started. And then I ended up coming over. And thankfully, since then, I haven't had any issues. But that was my one issue. That was quite difficult. That was tricky because that shows up on your record every time you fly to and from that you've been stopped and questioned about that. And sure, everyone says it. I swear it was a mistake. And everyone looks at me and they're like, hmm? And I'm like, no, I'm telling you. But to be fair, I've never had any issues since. And the officer, like, it was just a weird time in the world too,
Sure.
with the lockdowns and stuff. So I think it is very difficult. I think the process needs to be a little bit smoother, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we've had that same conversation with Frankie coming over, even just getting across the Canadian border. Zach has said the same thing. Don Barrett and I have had a huge, long discussion about some of the stuff that he's had to go through. So it's one of those things that, we're not going to get into political stuff, but my
Right.
God, the amount of stuff that's happened on our southern border, but you got to question a guy that's going to be coming in with a athlete's visa. I mean, come on.
Right.
That's not the right
Y-
way to do it.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like I get it. There's a lot of stuff there, and procedures and protocols in place for, safety purposes and all. But when, as you say, people go through the official route, it should be not greenlit, but it should be relatively smoother. So,
It should be
as I said, I've been lucky, I've been fortunate, I haven't had any issues. I was just in the US last week and a couple of weeks beforehand, and then I spent obviously the first 4 months of the year there, pretty much. So yeah, no, I love going to the US, man. I love being back and forth. So
Yeah, and I was mentioning to Christopher before he came on show that my family's from Ireland. I've not been to Ireland, but I really need to get there because I heard it's beautiful. And I told him the counties that my family came from, and he said it's just absolutely wonderful there. So I got to get over there and check out the homeland, so to speak.
yeah, no, it's beautiful, man. And I believe next year we're gonna look at the reintroduction of the Irish Open as an association. So there'll be a bowling tournament that you'll be able to come and bowl. So
That'd be way awesome. That'd be way awesome. So,
Sounds like we need to make a trip.
Oh, JV's got questions. Say it again.
No, it sounds like we got to make a trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
Sounds
it'll
like
be
you got to
worth
make a
it.
trip up there.
We got plenty of golf courses. We got plenty of whiskey. We got everything for you guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So you're home for how long? You said 2 or 3 weeks. Then what's next? What are you?
No, I should be home for a little longer than that for once. Most likely going to be home for the remainder of the summer. There's the World Youth Championship, which sadly, and I know it might confuse a lot of your viewers, I can't participate in anymore. But there is two kids that I coach from Ireland. They're going over, and I told them if they make the cut, that I'll fly over for the last 4 or 5 days of the competition to kind of help them out and stuff. So that's at the end of the month. Other than
Where's
that.
that being held? Where's that being held?
That's going to be in Helsingborg in Sweden, which
Okay.
is where the PBA event for Martin's tournament, the Lucky Larson, is on.
Yep.
So that's my next tournament, is Martin's tournament at the end of August. Or sorry, I have the Lucy doubles, hopefully. There's some issues with my waiting list and stuff like that. So I should be back stateside one more time this summer. But yeah, man, predominantly feet on the ground here in Ireland, and loving the idea of it.
Get re-energized, be ready to come back strong. And
Yeah.
we've had so many PBA guys on the show. It's absolutely crazy that they don't release the schedule till like 2 or 3 weeks before they come out, and then you guys got to do all your travel plans. I mean, so we're all up in the air. We're waiting to see you when you come back to the States Bowl. So no, the Dog Tags crew will definitely be at the U.S. Open. That is our annual trip, so we'll be there for that one for sure. So yeah,
Nice.
you got a lot of stuff ahead of you. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll get busy.
Anything else? Anybody else out there got questions? Please throw them out there. I know. Happy birthday to Vicky Moore. I think today was her birthday. Happy birthday, Vicky. So
Happy birthday, Vicky.
yeah, we're just doing our thing. We are going to slow down for dog tag shows because it is summertime. People want to go enjoy. JDB's on an airplane every time we try and do it. So, but we're going to
Not a
have.
bad complaint.
We're going to have one. I mean, Packy said he'd come on, but the day I was going to do it, he's going to be at Nationals. We got Cam Crow coming on next week, and then we'll probably take a break till the middle or end of July. So that just give everybody a pre-programming notice. Please go to H5G, support dog tags. You can get our gear from there. You can put dog tags logo on anything that you want, T-shirts, mugs, etc. So that's a kind of cool deal. Now, here we go. RJ's got a question. How big is Bowling Ireland compared to the U.S.? Sorry, you were here earlier, RJ. So, Christopher, you want to explain that again? You said there are how many bowlers?
Yeah, Ireland is a very small bowling nation. We only have about 246 total bowlers in our organization, and only they compete in pockets of their events. So the junior section, the senior section, or the Team Ireland section, and then the senior section. So only about 240 bowlers. There's a lot of league play, but the biggest center that we have is 18 lanes now. Hopefully in a couple of years' time, I've been working with the local government, and we are looking at a facility in the near future, which should be about 44 lanes, which would be obviously pretty dope over on the Irish sports campus with all the other sports. So that'd be pretty cool. But for the moment, there's only myself that is signed as a professional, and then we got a couple of really good young prospects coming up. We got a girl called Hannah who's absolutely phenomenal. She's won a lot of things in Europe as a youth. And then we got a kid called Taylor, who's pretty good. He's gone away representing at this European Championships. I think he has a big pop at coming home with a medal, which would be pretty cool. It'd be the first time for a long time, probably since I won medals, at least for the men. That kid, Hannah, wins medals like she's going to the candy store. She's the real deal. I'm hoping to see her over on the PWBA in a couple of years. So
Now, how old are they? They in their teens?
Hannah's 18 or 19, and Taylor's 20 or 21 now.
Okay.
So I try to twist his arm. He's also my barber. He's also Simo's barber and Frankie's barber. So I tried to twist his arm onto coming onto the tour this year, more so just so we'd have a personal barber, and so that he'd get his feet wet. But he said he was going to wait until he was 21. So
Gotcha.
I'm hoping to see him at like either the Masters or maybe the World Series bowling next year. So
Yeah.
we got
Awesome.
some young prospects coming up. So.
Wendy's got a good question for you, Christopher. Who do you enjoy bowling against the most?
Oh, doesn't matter. Whoever's the best. Doesn't matter. I'm a real iron sharpens iron guy. Like I believe the only way you can get better is by bowling against the best. So like I like bowling around EJ, Belmo, Simo, like the guys that are just almost untouchable, because even though they beat my face in and week out, it doesn't matter. I learn stuff whenever I'm around those guys. You know, so to me it doesn't really matter. Whoever's bowling in front of me can get it. I don't care who they are, whether they're, you know, 10 foot tall or 2 foot tall or whatever. Like I'm there to win.
Yep.
Whether I do or not, I don't know. But yeah,
Yep.
anybody really.
I think that was one of the things that really stood out to me the very few times that we got to meet. I'm like, dude, this guy's passion and his you I can say it. You're not the biggest dude in the world. You're just not.
Right.
But man,
Yeah.
you got the size, you got the heart of a bulldog, bro. I mean, you will kick a dude,
No.
you will kick a dude in the dick.
No, I mean it doesn't bother me. I come from I obviously come from Dublin, Ireland. We didn't have the the best circumstances and all like here. So yeah, I mean I'm not scared. You know, you only learn by getting your face beat in and then going again. So I'm not afraid of really anything when it comes to competing professionally. So you gotta be willing to take risks and fail so that you can get better. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're keeping him. It's 1:30 or almost 2 o'clock in the freaking morning. So we're gonna let you get off the show, man. We greatly appreciate you taking the time. And I think one of the coolest things was just let everybody know. I sent him a message. I'm like, hey man, would you join dog tags? He's like, yeah, whatever. What do you need? And I told him the date. He's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be in Ireland. That's all right. I'll do anything for you guys. So
yeah.
it was super cool that you were able to stick around, hang out with us a bit. We wish you nothing but love, bro. Nothing but love. It was great, like I said, to watch you go through the tour trials. Great first season, truly full time on the PBA. Next year, nothing but big things coming your way. And you know, dog tags be rooting for you in the background anytime you're in anywhere in the world. We're gonna be rooting for you.
Cheers, Lucy. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to invite me on too. So
We'll do it again. It's a little bit easier during bowling season when people are,
yeah.
no one's outside playing golf, barbecuing, doing this, that, the other thing. They're just there strictly for bowling. But all our dog tags people, Steve saying thanks for coming on. Wendy's a loyal supporter of dog tags. Thanks for your time. So we will be in touch, and you tell that stateside people we said hello too.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you very much, Lucy.
All
Cheers,
right, take care,
JBB.
guys. JVB, you still around?
Yeah, dude, I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but
We can. Well, we thank you for your service, brother. We know that it gets a little hectic, and like I tell everybody, we're going to have one more show next week, and then we're probably going to lay low for a little bit. So keep track of Facebook, YouTube. We'll put some posts out there. Wish JVB safe travels, and we'll get out of here, y'all.
have a good
See
one.
ya.